And we are live. So let me check the Facebook groups. Yep, we're live in Facebook in that one. Let's check the other one. And we're live in that one also. So we're live in the two groups. Caylee, you can share it to your group also if you want with the plus button down at the bottom.
I think I did that as I was coming on. Oh, maybe not.
I think you have to wait for me to go live before you can share it.
Okay, sure. Show your presentation to viewers. This one? Add to your stream or local video. Oh, presentation. Let's see.
James, where's the ad where you can share it to your own groups? Down the bottom, right? The plus?
Yes, the plus, add source.
Press A. You guys are getting techie on me here. I don't know.
No, I don't think that's the one, James.
No, I don't think so. It's making me like.
So, add source. Let's see, presentations.
Bring presentation to studio.
Let's see.
For some reason, even my share screen.
Is there a button up top that says your channels or anything?
Let's see.
See, mine looks different. That's why I'm asking. You guys don't see what I see, so.
Mm-hmm.
James, on your screen, is there a button up top, like with the different groups it can be shared to, or?
Oh, no button on the top. I'm just looking now. Okay. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see.
You notice how he doesn't ask me.
You must be like me then.
That's right.
Got people joining in now.
So Facebook.
If you're joining us on Facebook, make sure in your post, when you're typing in Facebook, just post your name so we can see who's typing the comment. Otherwise, we just see a Facebook user as the person. So. And everybody in Facebook, just hang in there. We're just getting everything set up. We'll get started here in just a short couple minutes. Hey, Carol.
Okay, well, the good news is I figured out how to get my PDF up while we've been fiddling around. How's the sound now?
I think everything's good here. I've got good sound on my side. We've got... See, signal quality is 100% for everybody, so that's good. Hey, Angela. Your better half is on, James.
Oh, good. I know she was wondering where we were.
Were you getting a text message, or were you getting like something thrown at you? Hey, where are you?
Well, it seems to be the technology rule of the day. I don't know what's going on, but as soon as I connect my AirPods to some other device that's not normally my phone, somebody texts me and the volume's off, or, they were connected to my iPad. I was on Nikki Lee's call this morning, and people are messaging me, and I'm like, I'm not getting the messages. And I had the earphones in, but they weren't connected to the iPad. I said, we'll just call it a Monday as usual. I don't see any way to add. Caylee, if you want, what you may have to do is jump off and jump back in to add it to your group, or you have to share from Facebook, I think, directly. Let me just see if I can.
Yeah, that might be it. You may have to share it directly from Facebook. I'm not sure. I wouldn't worry about it right now.
I did set it up. Like it prompted me before I came on, and I did the prompt, so it might be going.
Check your
already.
group.
Perfect.
It may be running. So
Let's see. Yeah, we're there.
perfect.
Perfect.
Cool. So welcome everybody to tonight's BBR number 118 with Caylee. Kaylee's got some good stuff to talk about. Just finished up a class today, so she can talk a little bit about that, the wrap up on that, and getting involved in her new program. I think there's a waiting list going on for it right now. Correct, Caylee?
Actually, we're open cart for the next, this will be pre-open cart for a week, and then we're opening it up to the public for a week. And we open every 3 months.
Right there?
What's that?
I just put,
yeah.
Is that the right?
No, that's not it. Here, I'm going to put it. That's not it. So yeah, I'll give you the lowdown, but here we go. Oh, maybe that was, I'm not sure which one you put in there, but
I just put the generic one in there for you, but I'll put another one in here.
this is the one that we're talking about today, but I can show you more about that later.
Yeah, so here's the link for everybody. If you throughout tonight's video, you can jump on that link if you'd like to register for it. Check it out. Good stuff. So
Perfect.
Welcome everybody to BBR 118. Caylee, it's all yours.
All right. Well, the reason I love coming on with you guys is kind of the banter. So I'm not going to just talk straight here. I'll get a topic going and then get you guys to chime in. So for the next quarter, I'm kind of talking all things people. And so a lot of you who have seen me before, I'm usually known as the financial girl in the industry. And I got that title because I really wanted to focus on salon growth. And I looked around to see, there was a whole bunch of marketing classes, there was a whole bunch of technical classes. And so I wanted to fill the gap that there wasn't. And so my first program was the Profit Project that taught salon owners all things finance. And after everyone finished the class, they didn't want to go anywhere. And so we started designing other programs to hit the other pillars of your business. And so as a global feeling of the business, I think it really breaks down into just a few areas. So there's the financial pillar, there's your purpose, which is your mission, vision, and values, and getting really clear on who you are and why you're different. And then there's your people. And people covers like all things leadership and processes and systems and operations. And then there's your, we call it publicity, which is Derek's domain in the marketing, getting that message out to everyone. And so a lot of times I just see people doing it backwards because they're everyone wants to go where it's sexy, right? And marketing is sexy and they want to take the next social media class and they want to, learn how to get their Instagram up and running and they want to learn how to do ads. But if you don't do it in the right order, you're not going to have the right infrastructure. And so for me, the order is actually purpose, then people, then profits, and then publicity. And if you do it in that order, you're going to hit all the major pillars of your business and you're going to have that strong foundation. And then when you start spending money on marketing and you're fueling them in, you're going to actually retain that spend. Because what happens often is you're marketing to an infrastructure that's not there and you're not able to retain a lot of those customers that are coming in. So my new program, the Salon Profit Project, we hit on all the pillars one quarter at a time. And so January through March, we spent on purpose. So we're looking at what's your mission, vision, values, what are the things that make you stand out, like your values are that rock that you stand on that makes your business different from all the other businesses. And now April, May, June, we're talking all things people. And so the way I see people is you've got that leadership component. You've got the system, like the system and processes component. How are you setting your team up for success? So that's what I want to dive into today. And then you've got the celebration component because people need to be celebrated. And if you're always drilling them on their accountabilities and their performance and trying to push them towards numbers and try to push them to get better, and you're never stopping to celebrate them, that's where we see a lot of loss in retention. So those are kind of the directions that I want to go in today. What are your thoughts so far on all of that?
Well, personally, I think growing people is really part of the solution, right? Everyone's been complaining about how hard it is to find staff, especially in the salon industry. And I think that's really where it is, that they're not even looking at the numbers or the commission rates or anything else. They're looking at, what you do as a company, what your company purpose is, right? What your company mission is, like you were saying. So I think that that's a really nice order to do that before the publicity, because, even in our particular case, we're very focused on sustainability. We've done a lot on the press side, even through the last 2 years of crazy. And it still doesn't make it any easier to find staff. Makes it easy to find clients that want to come in. Oh, I read an article about you. Oh, I read this. But to find staff, I think that purpose component really is big.
Yeah.
That's huge. It's huge.
Yeah, that's the magnet, right? That's the magnet that's
Mhm.
going to draw them to you and rather than somebody else. And so that's where you need to get clarity. Otherwise you become trying to be everything to everyone. And I think what's important right now, because everybody, that's all I see. The problem is in salons is I can't find staff, right? Like that's the only problem that they think they have. And so we've been really speaking to this a lot lately. And I just want to give you a warning that that's maybe not your only problem. And so if you feel like you're on, I mean, we can get a show of hands for this. Like, how many of you feel like you're on a treadmill and someone's like turning up the speed? And I know you salon owners, like I know you, you're like, I got this. They turn it up a little bit more. It's okay, I got this. Like the salon owners are the eternal optimists. Like if you ask them what their challenges are, they're like, no, I don't have challenges. I've got this. I just need more of me. I just need to hire myself and I'll be all good, right? That's what we're all saying. But really the treadmill's getting faster. It's getting faster. It's getting faster. And at some point you're going to get that embarrassing like shoot off the back of the treadmill at the gym, fall flat on your face if you don't kind of face reality that the only problem isn't finding the right people. There's a lot of other problems, and one of the main problems in the business is it's not profitable. And so adding more people to that doesn't solve the problem. What does solve the problem is to slow down to speed up, right? Slow down to speed up. So that means going back and revisiting, why are you in business? What's your purpose, mission, vision, values? And then we need to hire the people that fit that. So who are the people that want to share that same message as you? And a lot of the work for you comes down to creating the structure for them. And that's where I want to share just some of these tools so you can get an idea of what some of the behind the scenes work that needs to get done to support your business, because we hear a lot of the same complaints, but we don't see anyone doing the work. Some of the other warning signals that you might want to do some of these things is just feeling resentful towards your staff, right? Is anyone here feeling like resentful to them? Like they get to just come in and work and go home, and I'm left with all the liability. I'm left with this mess. I'm left without a paycheck. That's a warning sign that you need to put some more infrastructure into your business. Maybe you're just doubling down and working harder. And you're like, if I just work harder, it's just going to work out one day. Like, I'll just keep working. I'll keep my head down. I'll work harder. I'll work harder. Working harder is not the solution either. And sometimes it takes to getting to the point where payroll bounces before we open our eyes. And even at some point too, you're just thinking you need to run harder, right? And so I just want to show a few kind of tools and concepts that'll help you see that there are solutions for these problems. If you just slow down a little bit to put this structure into your business, there is some really solutions that give you a lot of clarity. So I'm just going to share my screen. I hope it's going to show here. Yeah, there we go. I think it's showing my whole screen, but let's see what you can see here when I... Oh, unable to share screen. I think I need your permission, Derek.
Doesn't say it. Nope.
No?
You should be good.
Share. Nope. Doesn't want me to share today. Okay, well, we'll just go on with
Caylee, if you want to try one more time on the bottom, so you have the mic, the camera, the share screen, and then there's the plus. So if your presentation is queued up, try hitting the plus and clicking the presentations to show your presentation to the viewers. That's a new feature, so we haven't had it before.
Okay, let's see. Desktop and let's see. Ooh, this might work. It's thinking about it. It's thinking. Upload. Oh, it's coming in. All right. Well, while that's uploading, how's all of our listeners doing? So what do you think about all that? Does anyone resonate with feeling like they're on the treadmill?
Well, Joyce, who's usually with us too, she said that, we're in the me era, right? Everything is about them, right? About the staff. And you could sort of have it make sense, right? Even as salon owners, as you said, we spend the time on the hamster wheel or the treadmill. And truthfully, we had to think as owners about work-life balance and about what we wanted to get out of the business. And, working 7 days a week, right? When 2019, you said, man, we'll just work as much as we can and make as much money. And then all of a sudden you put the brakes on and said, why would I want to burn myself out? And, working smarter, which is what the BBR is all about.
Exactly. And so part of that is kind of building the infrastructure. So some of you might have seen a flow chart before, and this is an example of a flow chart. So I like to flip it upside down. So traditional flow charts have the boss at the top, and then they have all the people underneath them and who reports to who. The way I see this is you salon owners, you are the visionary. So you came up with this idea. You had the guts to go out and do it. You had the know-how to go and make it happen. You had to get money together. You took on risk. You did all those things. So you're the visionary. I see you as like the seed that planted and is growing, and you have to like nurture yourself because you are the support system for everyone. So I'm taking the traditional flow chart and turning it on its head. Because the traditional flow chart says, I'm up here at the top. I'm so much cooler than everybody, and everybody reports and bows down to me, right? And this is like, nobody wants to work for that. And it's not the reality of how it works, because it actually starts with you at the bottom planting that seed, and the seed is growing. And from there, for you to run, some of you are running big operations. And when I first did this exercise, this comes from a company called EOS. It's like Entrepreneurial Operating Systems, but I've adapted it for the hair industry, and I've adapted it with, like, I flipped it upside down. And it's showing, all the roles that are in a business. And when I learned this, I was like, oh yeah, I'm a good delegator. I've got this. I got this syndrome. Like, I'm on the treadmill and I've got this syndrome. And when I started to do the work, I was like, oh, I do that role. Oh, I do that role. Oh, I do that role. Oh, I do all the roles. Okay. I didn't delegate anything really. And so it was a really big awakening to kind of map this out. And so I want to show you, an example of what one looks like for a salon and just how many roles there are. I mean, look at that. Like, those are all the jobs you're doing. Like, that's a lot of jobs when you start to really like think about it. And sometimes we're just so busy on the hamster wheel that we don't even know what we're doing anymore. We're just like running. And so if you can start to put it into an organizational flow chart like this, you can say, okay, these are the jobs that go with this role. And now I can find somebody else to do that. And now I can make it clear for them, and I can hold them accountable. And so just in our class this morning, something that came up was someone said, well, I asked one of my stylists to go clean the back room. And when I went in the back room, it wasn't clean to my standard. So then I'm redoing it. And so I want to show you as well, what it actually looks like to set someone up for success. So first of all, every company should have a flow chart, and your name shouldn't be in every single box. So that can be a first step, is like, how do I get myself out of some of those boxes in a way where it's not going to come back on my plate? And we don't need to, I don't know how close you can see it. It's probably small, but I just want to show you some of the groundwork behind it. So then we need to hold people accountable to their new job. And so in holding people accountable, we need like real clarity. So what I told the girl on the call this morning was, do a nice clean of the back room once, take pictures of how you want it, document it, and next time you say, hey, can you go do the back room? And here's the steps on how to do it. And now we're actually setting people up for success. And we don't, how can I unshare this now? We can take this off, cancel. There we go. No, it's still there. Anyway, is there any way to just make us bigger again? Or it's just me?
There we go.
There we go. I'll just leave it there. I like to see the faces. So we're actually like doing the groundwork to set them up for success, right? And so instead of complaining about all the things that the people aren't doing, we need to look at ourselves in the mirror and be like, what did I not do that didn't set them up for success, that didn't give them clarity on how to win? And when you start teaching people how to win in your business and you start celebrating them and you start putting the infrastructure in, people want to stay with you because they're tired of working at salons that are disorganized, that don't have any systems in place, that anything goes. They want to work for a business that has values, that has clarity of why they're there, who they serve, that has some structure for their expectations. And when you can put all that in place, your retention's going to go through the roof. People are going to be attracted to you because they're going to hear such great things from your team members.
Yeah. So
Great.
what I would say is, and Andrew and I had a conversation along these lines some time ago, but two things. Number one, 100% to what you're saying when you say show somebody how to do it. So what I say is, in business, you should have SOPs, or standard operating procedures, for everything. They should be in writing, so that everybody understands them. But the one lesson I learned from one of my coaches was, he said, when you're writing SOPs, make them so simple that your mother could understand them, who's not even in the business, and that was for computer related stuff, right? Like, here's what you do. You press this, you press that. It's a little bit more work up front for an owner, but in the long run, it makes things a lot easier, because then they can't turn around and say, well, I didn't know what you expected, or I didn't know how to do it, or whatever, because it's, the old saying, keep it simple, stupid, write it down, simple, boom, boom, boom. And that people really, it works with people better than just barking orders at them.
Absolutely. It's critical. Okay. You've done a beautiful job in communicating why. And I think that's so important, and you'll probably in your program get there in your leadership or / management piece as to how to really use these tools to the maximum benefit of the person and the organization and the salon. People, I just have to comment, because I guess I'm really onto this thing, that the people who work for you, that job, the job, is really important to them. I mean, I know our businesses are really important to us, but having that, we can always find someone else. Not that we want to. We can always grow this thing, but their job, it's key. And let's not think that people don't want to do a great job. They do. They want to grow. It goes back to what you said at the beginning. Everyone wants to grow. If the alternative doesn't look so good.
Yeah, and it's back to the basics, right? It's just like, I think everyone can relate to a beautiful bob haircut, right? If your bob is crooked, you have to go back to that first line and straighten it out and then recut the whole thing. You can't just start chipping into it. And it's the same thing with your business. If you haven't got that foundation right, you're going to see the cracks in your business. And so the only way to go back to it is to go back and fix it. And what people think they want new team members. They think they want more staff, better clients. But I think what you really want is the structure, because with this structure, You can leave your business for months at a time, and sometimes it performs even better without you. Like when I used to leave my salon, my husband's from France. We would go to France for a few months. I'd come back and walk in the front door, and they'd be like, "Don't touch the computer." They're like, "Stay back," because they like figured out how to do it without me, and they're like, "Don't you dare go messing with our systems," right? So when we can start to pass the relay on to our people, John Maxwell has the law of the lid, and you are the lid on your people's potential. And as long as you aren't growing yourself and learning the business side of things, and you're keeping all the jobs for yourself, you are stunting the growth of your organization and yourself and all of your people. And so as you can grow, you bring that lid up and you allow your people to grow. And when your people can grow, then they stay with you. And so, and I just want to share one more story and then we could wrap it up. Just about like how important people are, because I've also heard salon owners saying like, I'm sick of babysitting and maybe I'll just sell my salon and go rent a chair. And so I don't know how many of you probably don't want to raise your public hand, but you know, you can say to yourself, yeah, you know, I've had that thought. And they're thinking like, I can just go back to chair rental, be by myself. Like, I think you all know too much now to just go back to chair rental. So I don't think you can go back to something. You have to go forward to something. And so the next step for you salon owners is to master the business pillar. And the best way to master your business pillar is with people. So our theme is people, and that's how you can grow, is with other people. And my example of this is I was a competitive swimmer. And so now I swim as a master swimmer. And when I was in France, I didn't know what group to go to. So I was going to the pool twice a week alone or with my husband, and I swim about 2 kilometers. And when I'm not really motivated, I swim about 1.5 kilometers. And so I spotted out like the master's group, and I thought, okay, I asked them if I could come and try a swim for the day. In the same amount of time, I swam 2.6 kilometers. What changed?
The people you were swimming with.
The people that I was swimming with, they were pushing me, they were pulling me along. And guess what happened when I went back to the same group a little less motivated? I still swam 2.6 kilometers. So, you know, that's the difference between doing it alone and doing it with a group. Is when you do it alone, you have those days where you're like, just not feeling it. And there's no one there to pick you up and push you forward. So I'm inviting all of you, Derek put the link up to our Salon Owner Circle. It's a super collaborative group where we move through the 4 pillars. We give you tools and templates that are done for you, like the one I showed you. So you just have to fill it in and it's ready for your business. And we meet twice monthly, and you get to collaborate with other salon owners. And they're the ones that are going to pull you through all of this, because I don't think any of you really want to sit at your computer all day trying to figure it out on your own, but it is critical for your business to move you forward and get you to that next level. And you're going to love, I know that work doesn't sound sexy, but the next level is sexy. When you can leave your salon and travel and not worry about it and not have anyone calling you and just know that it's thriving, you get to live your dream life. That's what is like sexy about all of this. And that you're not going to get by just hiring the next staff or getting more clients or getting the next ad that brings you new business. Those things come from the stuff that I'm talking about here. So, you know, one way or another, there's all great coaches here. You know, Nikki, I heard she's got like great infrastructures too. So, you know, if it's not my program, just get some help in getting that infrastructure in your salon. And it's in 1 year from now, you won't even recognize your business or your lifestyle. And that's what I love about this. This is life-changing stuff. I used to teach haircutting, which is really cool. Like the class would be motivated and they'd have a new technique to do for the quarter. But I love teaching this stuff because this changes your life. Like this literally changes your day-to-day life forever. And it's really cool. So that's my piece. Anything you guys want to add to it?
Anybody in the group have questions for Caylee?
No questions coming in yet. But I mean, anybody on Facebook, please ask some questions while we have Caylee here. But you know, we're about to hit the 2-year anniversary of BBR. That's the whole point to why we started that as a reset. And we've said this, you know, Andrew and I joke about this all the time. You can change anytime you want. You can decide tomorrow that you want to be a better owner and you want to do things different. I would probably let the staff know that you're trying to grow them or grow the business or whatever you're going to do. But you don't have to be apologetic if you say, I feel like I was doing this the wrong way. I want to be motivated for you as a staff. I want to change the way the business operates. You can change anytime you want. Nobody's ever come out and said, I want to change to be really horrible tomorrow. I'm going to come in, I'm going to smack everybody around. I'm just not going to clean anything. We're going to make this place as disgusting as we possibly can.
Yeah. Having said that, and Caylee knows, and we all know that behavioral change, you really have to want to. I just call it, you gotta wanna. And step by step, you can do it. It's not gonna, truth is, not gonna happen overnight. It takes a good year, a year, even longer.
Train your brain.
I mean, yeah, but that is the truth of it. This is not going to happen, in 1 minute, and it is work, but it's your work. This is the owner's work. Yeah, and I'm not saying that doing hair is not the owner's work. It's probably the love that you got into it, but the real work is creating this. We'll call it culture. We'll call it whatever we want. Opportunity for other people to thrive and grow.
Andrew, you and I had a conversation the other night that resonated, and it was about how most salon owners, and I'm not saying this derogatory, are introverts, and and they have a lot of empathy towards things. So when they come up against things, they want to be creative, right? They want to be artists. They don't want to be business owners, even though they think they want to be business owners. Well, you've got to learn to train your brain to say, I want to have the same creative passion for business that I have when I'm doing hair color. And it's really what it comes down to it. And I see the owners that can change that mindset are the most successful owners. The other owners that are still in that just creative mode behind a chair, and whenever they hear about any of the business issues and their hands go up and they freak out because they can't handle the pressure, you've got to learn to turn that pressure into passion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And while you're saying that, I think we just can't deny the statistics that are out there. And they're 2% are profitable. And of the 2%, they're 2 to 6% profitable. It's just unacceptable to me. So I just urge you, I know we're talking about people today and it's one of the strong pillars, but I just urge you to take a look under the hood of your business. And if you don't know how, again, get support, because we do financial reviews for salons. And I even had another consulting company call me and say, we need some help with this beauty salon and they want to franchise her. And I said, well, let me see her numbers. And they had been working with her for 2 years already and had never looked at her numbers. And we looked at her numbers, and the salon is losing money every month. And because of the cash nature of the business, there's cash coming in that maybe belongs to the government, belongs other places. So the owner didn't know that. The consultant, unfortunately, never looked for it. And you can't franchise a business that's losing money every month, right?
Tough model to franchise.
And I just see it, when the statistics tell you that 90% of salons are failing, then at some point you need to look in the mirror and be like, am I part of the 2% or am I part of the 98%? And if you just take a look, you're going to be able to move forward. So you need to know where you are to be able to move towards where you want to go. And if you one of my clients said, oh my gosh, I've been living a lie. When I finally looked at her numbers, I finally got a hold of her numbers. She was a friend of mine. And I'm like, just send me your numbers. She finally sent them to me. And I showed her how she had just kept bringing on debt and the cash flow was just debt. And she said, oh my gosh, I'm living a false reality. She thought she was doing well. And had no idea of the losses that were happening. And it just breaks my heart. I'm for salon owners. I'm cheering you on. I want it to be a win-win, because I hear all these stylists saying, my greedy salon owner, or they're taking so much from me. I've never met a greedy salon owner. I know you all have a heart of gold and you're over giving. And so I believe in a win-win. You know, I don't believe in these salons that, you know, really suppress their people either. I believe in a win-win, and you need to find that balance. And it's right now, it's the lose for most of the owners, and we need to change the industry like drastically and fast, because you just can't go on like that. You can't work 10 years and end up 200,000 in debt. Like, that's not okay with me. All right. So I want you to win. And the first place to win is to really look behind the scenes and see what's really going on in there.
I'll tell you, you know, the chair rental booth, whatever we want to call it, suite. I went into one, actually a couple this past week. And I looked at it from a number of different lenses. And it is an alternative. But I'll tell you, there were 25 units, suites in this one particular place. And it was on a Saturday, and maybe 20% were closed. The lights were out. A couple, there were customers. Some looked like, some of the styles looked like they were having fun and a good time. But boy, I don't know. There's just, to me, it's a real dead end.
It's you know, Andrew, you know, and I think it's great for some people. I really do.
Yeah, it worked. I mean, I
don't have a problem with it. I have a problem with the industry as a whole, like Caylee's saying. The industry has been fed a line of bullshit, even by a lot of the coaches. Coaches that are in BBR, I can say I trust, I like, I more than like most of them, and because they're here to help business owners succeed. They're not here to sell a product or do this or do that, right? And that was the industry for far too long. And you know, a lot of these owners, like I said earlier, and Caylee said it in a nicer way, is you've got to get that service mentality out of your head, and you've got to become an entrepreneur if you want to be that business owner. And that's going to take some brain training, because especially if you're an, what are they called? INTJ, whatever the hell it is. And you know, you're empathetic to everything and you can't handle stress. You're going to have to take that stress and turn it into passion and find the love in running your business, not doing hair. I'm not saying forget about hair, but find the love in running your business. Yeah.
Speaking of introverts, I encourage everyone to go online and Google the world's 20 greatest introverts. You will be shocked at who is on that list. I promise you.
So it can be done. What we're saying is Andrew's saying, I'm saying is it can be done. Okay.
Well, Derek, I was that stylist, right? Like, I just want to do hair. When I opened my salon, I was doing hair 6 days a week. I thought if we did the best hair, we got the best reputation, that we would, and that I was the best to my staff, and I didn't do all the things that I didn't like that were done to me as an employee. I thought that was the key to success. And when we were 600,000 in sales we won Best in Vancouver years in a row. And I finally learned about my finances. I didn't pay myself, and I had a 1% profit. And I'm like, I can't go on like this. You know, this doesn't work. And when I really found out was when I went away to have my first baby, and I bounced the payroll. So when I took out my own sales from behind the chair, the business didn't work. And so I had to fast track my business knowledge to be able to weather that storm. And so it wasn't a love at first, like you're saying, like, you know, you have to make that switch. It wasn't a love at all. I was like, my business coach would give me a cash flow sheet, and I'd phone him 100 times being like, I deleted the cells. What do I do? How does this work? But I wasn't afraid to ask questions and keep trying and keep picking myself up. And that's, you know, and then when I actually learned it, I learned it better than anyone, because I had to ask it. Like, I'd call my bookkeeper and I'd be like, why does increased inventory equal more taxes? Why? I don't understand this concept. Like, why didn't I write off all this inventory? Why is it on my balance sheet? Like, you know, I had to ask her the same questions over and over and over before they actually sunk in. And through learning it and feeling empowered. Like I skipped high school and was washing hair at the salon at 15. So, I didn't feel like I could do all these things. And now I can hold conversations with my father-in-law is a CFO of a law firm in London. He created all our spreadsheets, and we'll have like arguments over something. And often he's like, oh yeah, you're right. I didn't think I was capable of these high level conversations. And that fuels your passion when you can start to make money without just your hands, right? Because not everybody wants to be in their 70s doing hair. I do have my mentor who retired and came out of retirement to open a salon again in her 70s, but I don't think that's everybody's story that they want to be doing hair at 70. So it's really empowering to learn how to bring revenue without your hands. And I think that's the piece you can fall in love with. So you don't have to fall in love with like systemizing your business. You don't have to fall in love with your numbers, but you can fall in love with the empowerment that you get by being able to influence growth in your company without being the one that has to be like on the floor in the thick of it.
That's a great message. Great message. Really.
All right, guys. So I'm going to take the link that Derek put up. I'm on too many devices at once, so I can't copy it from Restream. But I promise I'm going to put the link up for you guys. It's a little bit long to type. And Caylee, you can feel free to pop it in the Facebook groups as well. Sure. Definitely check out some of Caylee's classes. She's got a lot of great classes set up. They're also really user friendly. So I've been to a few of her classes, and you have the camaraderie of other salon owners that are going through the same issues that you are, which is really one of the best parts. So you don't have to feel alone. You saw the sheet that she put up. Very makes sense, very easy things to structure. Nobody's trying to scare you away from a little bit of structure. It's all things, and she's definitely a great one to give you a hand and help for sure. So thank you so much, Caylee.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Caylee.
Thank you so much, James.
Thank you, Caylee.
Andrew. It's always a pleasure. And thanks everyone for chiming in.
Well, thank you.
Awesome.
James,
good night, guys.
What do we have on the
next
schedule?
Monday, episode 119. I know it's an odd number, but it'll be our 2-year anniversary, and we have one of everybody's favorites, Gino Stampora, will be with us. So get ready for some fun. Just don't forget it's 7 p.m. because if we get him after 8 o'clock, there's too much red wine going on, and it gets interesting. It gets interesting, but I don't know how much of that you can apply to your salon and motivation. And then Barbara gets mad at me, so we're going to take him at 7 o'clock.
There you go.
Thank you guys for doing this for the industry. It's just amazing your consistency. It's unbelievable, really, that you guys started it like in the crisis, and you just keep going and you keep bringing great people, and all of your followers are just so blessed to have you. Like your generosity is, I'm sure, changed a lot of lives already.
All right, guys. Good night,
Thank you
Caylee.
so
Thank you again.
Good night.
Always good to see your smiling faces, and we'll see you guys next Monday at 7
Have a great week, everyone.
See you next Monday.
Bye.